Why would you have a navy striped suit in your wardrobe? And a more important question is, why wouldn't you? You can't avoid it. Let me tell you, gentlemen, your first 4 suits you need to own. The first suit's going to be a navy solid. The second suit's going to be a charcoal solid. Then you need a navy stripe and a charcoal stripe. Now, let me tell you a couple things about navy suits. This is a single-breasted navy striped suit. It's incredibly important that you get 2 pairs of pants with your single-breasted striped suits. Why? Well, number one, it doubles the life of your suit. So 2 pairs of pants with a striped suit. Number 2, if you blow out the pants on your solid navy jacket, you can wear the jacket like a blazer. On a striped single-breasted navy jacket, you cannot wear the striped single-breasted navy jacket with a stripe as a blazer. It doesn't work. If this was double-breasted, you can wear it as a blazer, but a single-breasted, you cannot. It is considered, it's just inappropriate. It's a rule breaker, and it shows that you're cheap and you don't want to do that. So with your pinstripe single-breasted suits, get 2 pairs of pants. It's imperative. The second thing is, I want to show you your sleeve real quick, guys, if we can get a shot. On a bespoke suit, you have a functional sleeve, and you can see that you can open up that buttons to win deals when you're signing a big deal. You want to keep one button open. Now, let me show you how to tell a cheap suit from an expensive suit. This is the quickest trick, and nobody knows this, but I'm going to give you guys the secret. Here it is. Notice that the buttonhole has a loop on the end. The reason that buttonhole has a loop, it's because it's made either by hand, a Milanese buttonhole, or it's made by a buttonhole machine. But notice the lapel. The lapel hole, it does not have a loop. It's a straight line, okay? It's a different machine to make this little feature. On a cheaper tailored suit, what you will see is you will see the buttonhole on both the lapel and the sleeve, which means that the company did not invest. They're underinvested into their machinery. So they're making the wrong buttonhole. And most people miss it. That machine is $40,000. But it shows that you pay attention to details. We have 6 of these machines in our tailoring shop because attention to detail is everything in tailoring as it is in sales. A couple more points about the navy pinstripe suit. This is a suit for bankers. This is a suit for lawyers. This is a suit for private equity. If you're in finance, a navy pinstripe suit shows expertise, shows power, and shows tradition.
This is a power suit.
It is a power suit.
Yes.
I mean, why wouldn't you want to feel powerful? But Dan, tell us what this suit means to you.
Well, I love this suit. I can see that being on stage because I do a lot of speaking. This will be a very good fit. In boardroom meeting, if I'm meeting with a partner, I'm meeting with a client, this is also a very good suit. This is kind of like I'm the boss kind of suit. That's the statement. It's a power suit.
Well, it's modeled after a man who is the boss. Tell us about him.
Well,
Li Ka-shing, right?
yeah. So with this suit, let me show you the lining. By the way, let me just show that. It's a Hong Kong, right? Hong Kong. So Li Ka-shing is the richest man in Hong Kong. He's built a massive global empire. And one of my role models, one of my idols, I have his picture in my office. And so I want to have a suit that inspires me as the iconic Li Ka-shing, and also something that reminds me of my hometown, where I came from, Hong Kong. So that's where that came from.
And Hong Kong is very close to us at LGFG Fashion House. We have an office in Wan Chai. We used to be in Shangwan, above the best sushi place in town.
Oh, nice.
Wan Chai is closer to Central, so most of our clients in Central. And of course, we sell a lot of the pinstripe suits because lots of bankers there. Right down on Queens Way. What is it? Queens K? Whatever that's called. So obviously the HSBC building is where we do a lot of our business. And really important about navy stripe suits, and this is important for you guys that are looking for a suit. There's 2 types of stripes. There's pinstripe and there's chalk stripe. A pinstripe is generally very thin and very subtle, and a chalk stripe would be something a little bit more heavy. This is technically a pinstripe, but it's a very heavy pinstripe, so you would classify this as a chalk stripe suit. So this is a suit that you're not going to want to wear every day. This is not a suit that you're going to want to wear 3 times a week. It will get noticed. It is a boss suit. This is for presentations. This is for closing big deals. This is for delivering a speech when you're top salesman in your company. You want to walk out, you want to own the room, you want to have power.
Yes.
But let's flip this to sales a little bit. So, Dan, in your opinion, when would it be a good time to show power in sales?
Right from the beginning.
Okay, talk about that.
Right from the beginning. So traditionally in sales, we would think the buyer or the prospect has all the power, right? Because they have got the money. As a salesperson, as a closer, we want to close the deal, and and get the money, earn the commission, earn the business, right? So, but the fastest way to kind of flip the table is to take the power away from the prospect.
100%.
And the way to do that, just like in negotiation, negotiation is very simple. Whoever has the most power is the one who needs the deal the least, who has walk-away power.
Sure.
So it's the same thing. In sales, if you want to take control, if you want to have more power as a salesperson, you got to flip the table, I always say, high intention but low attachment. So being not attached to the sale, you automatically have more power because it would show. If you want the commission, if you want to make the money, it would also show, right? And needy is creepy.
Needy is creepy in dating too.
Yeah.
One of the things that I'll teach our sales force is, and I'm a big fan of evolutionary psychology. I'm actually writing a book right now called Evolutionary Psychology for Salespeople.
Nice.
Just something that I'm very passionate about. And again, it's something I've discussed with psychologists as well. And when you look at, for example, mating.
Yes.
Now, this is really interesting. So imagine like if you're mating, if you're a guy looking for a girl in that like sort of mating marketplace, 20% of the guys get 80% of the girls after them. And 80, that's Price's law. Oh, that's actually Pareto principle. So 80% of the other guys are chasing only 20% of the females. It's the same in sales. Like 20% of the salespeople get 80% of all the money. And then 80% at the bottom, you only fight for the 20% that's left. So there is a lot like in the power dynamic in this. But when I talk about like in sales, so let's say you're approaching somebody on the phone, and how do bad salespeople call? Hello, is this Mr. Lok? So they address you as like by your title, Mr. Lok. Or like, okay, hi, Mr. Lok, how are you today? They immediately start asking, how are you? Which lowers status because it immediately signifies, well, first of all, they know you don't care how they are. So it shows that you're stupid, and there's like nothing good about being stupid. So for me, when I teach our salespeople to open up a phone call, you open with power. So I'm going to do my approach. Role play it with me. So you pick up the phone, sounds like this. Dan.
Dan Lok speaking.
Dimitri Tukshar.
Hi, Dimitri.
Well, Dan, we've never met, so don't rack your brain trying to remember me. It won't work.
Okay.
The reason I called Dan is you're connected to a very good client of mine by the name of Grant Cardone. So do you know him, or are you guys just kind of social?
Socially, yes.
Very cool. Dan, what I do for him is I come right into the office and I make his most expensive suits, shirts and jackets. I'm a bespoke tailor. Dan, my question to you is if next time I'm by, if I can introduce myself and show you what I do.
Good. So I think right there, I want to pause for a second. Dimitri has done a number of things, right?
Oh,
First of all, positioning for power.
Huge.
Right? He's not trying to get businesses, and he also pay attention to the tonality. That's the key.
Right. So we're like weak tonality is your hello, Dan. And I'm going, hello, Dan. I'm going down in tonality because I'm talking down. The other thing, there's 3 other things I want to tell you guys, and Dan picked up on it. So when I told Dan what I do, he goes, which that is a very high status response. And most salespeople would be like, oh my God, he's giving me the silent, okay, Dan, and they get friendlier. So when he says, I read that as a high status response, and I give him a long pause. Whenever he gives me power, I pause him out of power. Salespeople, when somebody asks like, how much does it cost? You're like, no, you start jumping in. Here's a good pattern interrupt. Just don't say anything.
Yes. Silence. Silence is very powerful.
Oh, yes. And I call it on the phone, I say, who controls the pause controls the power.
That it?
Power suit, power pause. This would make, so, and again, when you talk about it from an evolutionary standpoint, you have like salespeople that are sort of in the mating game. You're trying to acquire and attract clients. You want to be high status. You want to take the position of not neediness. Intent is incredibly high status. Boldness is high status. We'll talk about that a little bit. This is a bold suit. It's a high status suit, but it's not so bold that you're crazy.
Yeah.
And that's what makes this suit so unique is that it's bold, but it's still professional. Beautiful suit to own. So when you have a blue suit, a pinstripe or solid, there's different shades of blue you can go for. Obviously, the dark navy blue or the funeral director suit is the safest suit. Now, one of the issues that I have with a suit that's sort of that dark navy blue is that it looks like hotel concierge. So I've gone away from it. So I've upgraded and elevated my blues to what I guess you would refer to as a cornflower blue. It's a little bit more attention grabbing. It's a little bit more bold, but it's a little bit less hotel concierge. And we don't want hotel concierge. We don't want airline steward. We want power. So if you're going to a wedding, a cornflower blue striped suit is an excellent opportunity to stand out while still fitting into the theme of the formal event. Excellent choice and very boss. surgeon cuffs were quite literally used by surgeons to unbutton and roll up the sleeves because surgeons used to perform surgery in a suit. Today, we don't do that anymore, but it is a sign of a bespoke suit because you can't really buy surgeon cuff off the rack because those sleeves cannot be altered for length. So surgeon cuffs are quite literally a sign that the suit is bespoke. And how bespoke do you want to get? Well, so there's a brand of watch, it's called a Rolex, which is, of course, one of the best brands in the world. And Rolex even melts their own gold. Everything is custom to Rolex. So on our suits, if you want to zoom in here, we even manufacture our own shell buttons. And our buttons are made out of either apricot nut shell, or they're going to be made out of like horn, actual like deer horn and buffalo horn. So we manufacture our own buttons to show the most exquisite attention to detail, from the different machinery that's making the lapel and the buttonholes, right down to the buttons. Everything on our suit is fully custom to us. That's unique. Well, you're unique. All right, guys. Well, look, there's different temperaments, right? Like, you could be very agreeable and just want to go towards harmony, and I appreciate you and respect you for that. Unfortunately, I was born with a very disagreeable mind, and I think most great salespeople and entrepreneurs are. And so sometimes you want to win gracefully, and sometimes you want to say, fuck you, okay? And look, here's the deal. In a business deal, most people treat me amazing, and I treat them amazing. But if you screw me over, I will not live it down. I will win, and I will show up in a blue pinstripe suit to tell you, fuck you. The fuck you suit is not a bad idea if you're a little crazy.
Whenever you want to exercise power, wear a power suit.